Easter, my junior year of high school, I was with my family and my oldest brother, who's just a really holy, awesome guy. He asked me if I'd ever considered the priesthood. He said, you know, you're at church a lot, you pray, you love prayer, you love the faith, you talk about it a lot. Have you ever considered the priesthood? And there was this very real sense of no, like, I don't think that's for me. And he said one of the most wise things I've ever heard. He said, well, we should always be discerning until there's a ring on our finger, the bishop's laying hands on us. And I very much realized that at that point I was not open to whatever the Lord wanted me to. I had my plans, and if God fit into it, that was great, but I never saw the Lord as the protagonist of my life. I saw myself as the protagonist of my life. And so things kind of started to change after that, and I started to open myself up more and more and start to ask that very difficult question of, all right, Lord, what do you want me to do instead of what do I want to do? And everything kind of started to change after that. So I met with the vocation director at the time, and I was 17, so I wasn't even 18, I couldn't even apply or anything. And he said, well, let's take our time with this and let's see what happens. So just took it very slow and prayed and said, all right, if the opportunity arises, if the Lord calls me to seminary now, I'll go. I have opportunities to go to other colleges, and I had different things lined up that I could go to a good number of schools that I wanted to go to, but for whatever reason, I knew that the Lord was pulling me, that if this is what God was calling me to, I would need those years of formation. And so I went, and I got accepted, and I went to St. Joseph Seminary College in Louisiana and just loved every minute of it, had a blast, and I don't regret it for a second. I don't regret any of it.
Well, I'd always had kind of an interest in the priesthood ever since a young age, and many people had affirmed that I had a vocation to the priesthood. And this had always lingered with me throughout the years, even going through high school and when I was in college as well. It just stuck with me. And the big time my decision came was when I was working in accounting in Athens. I worked there for about a year, and I enjoyed accounting. It was a good field for me, but I just still felt this tug going towards seminary, and no matter what I did to distract myself from it, it was always there. And so finally I decided that this had to mean something. So I kind of took my cue from the Nike slogan, just do it. And so that was what I thought. If God's calling me, that I should just do it. And I decided if I go to seminary, I can finally undergo the big discernment, so to speak. And if after a year I discerned that God was not calling me to the priesthood, well then I could just pick up my life where I left off. And if so, then pursue on with that and to wherever that would lead me. And so here I am 5 years later, feeling very affirmed in my call to the priesthood and enjoying every minute of it.
I always wanted to know what was going on. I always wanted to know more. And I think, yeah, that's kind of what's led me here to, yeah, I had like this childlike curiosity and desire to know what's going on. And I think there was something about the Mass that was really imprinted in me and about the Catholic faith as a child. Because I never, even though I didn't know what was going on and I had a close circle of friends that are not Catholic, I always identified myself as a Catholic. Even as a kid growing up, if I went to a non-denominational faith or any other denomination of church, they asked me to introduce myself. I'm Brian, I'm from St. John Newman, I'm a Catholic. And so it was just very interesting how, yeah, my desire to know the Lord has kind of led me to where I am today.